You don't have a confidence problem. You have an approval addiction, and it's keeping you stuck. Because when we live for the approval of others, we will find ourselves on the hamster wheel of people pleasing and perfectionism and desperation for external validation that leaves us exhausted and depleted and insecure. In today's video, we're going to dive into approval addiction and how to break it. I'm Trish Blackwell, your confidence coach. Let's dive in. Okay, so let's start with what is approval addiction? It is the constant craving for validation, praise, and reassurance from others. Ooh, raising my hand here, guilty as charged. I was stuck in approval addiction for a decade. And on the outside, it didn't look like it. I appeared confident. But what happens is when you're addicted to approval, your confidence meter, if we were to measure confidence on a scale of 0 to 100, your confidence meter would be at like 60% because you're waiting for the last 40% to be filled externally. And the problem is that sometimes it will be filled and other times it won't. And then it becomes very performance-based confidence, which will put pressure on you. And we wonder why we end up finding ourselves avoiding conflict, overthinking, people pleasing, worrying what they think, changing our personality to fit in, going for goals or striving for accolades that we don't actually care about, but technically other people do, and we want them to be impressed with us, and we feel exhausted and unfulfilled. And the truth is we are flipping the true way to approach confidence. So what approval addiction does is it creates confidence from the outside in, but truly sustainable confidence, the confidence that gives that like it factor, that really you look at somebody, you're like, how is it that they are so themselves? That comes from the inside out. And so one of the ways we break approval addiction is to start acknowledging if we struggle with the addiction to approval. And we start looking at, who do I want validation from and why do I want it? Go into understanding the why behind your drive for other people's validation. Next, we start, it's simple as learning how to give ourselves internal approval. Because when you can give yourself approval, you don't need the approval of others. And that is where freedom starts. I'm going to give you 4 ways we can break approval addiction. The first is to allow people to have their own feelings. It's okay to let someone be disappointed, to not meet expectations, because the expectations of others are not aligned always with our own priorities and vision and goal. To let people feel their feelings and stop trying to manage what people think and feel about you. And if you want help on how to stop caring what people think, I have a course for that. I'm linking in the notes below. The second thing is to validate yourself first. We do this through self-validating intentions and affirmations to on a daily basis, even if it's just on a post-it. I so encourage journaling. If you don't know how to journal, that's linked in the notes as well, and then in today's video description. But learning how to write affirmations that builds you and validate and remind you that you can give yourself that self-validating verse. Your approval, that voice of self-validation can come from the inside, not the outside. This is a voice that we have to practice on our own, and you practice it through journaling. Grab my Journal Mastery Bundle and I'll teach you how to do that. But you can start just now by writing affirmations and validations and remind yourself that you are proud of yourself. Be proud of how you showed up today. The third way is to track your wins. This is simple as literally pen and paper, and you're going to track your wins. Now, I teach this in a simple 3-minute nighttime method. It's my core method. There's a video. I'll link the video here for you. The 3-3-3 method is, I'll break it down. 3 gratitudes, 3 wins from today, and 3 wins for tomorrow. Do this. It takes 3 minutes or less to do. You do it at the end of the workday, or you do it at night right before bed, and it will change the way you start seeing your days, because you're going to go, wow, like today was good. I'm so grateful. And look at the 3 wins I had. And then you're preemptively saying, I'm already going to start winning tomorrow. By creating a winner's voice, by acknowledging your wins, you see yourself as a winner, and you're starting to validate and approve of yourself and your progress. This taps into that growth mindset and helps you see that while there are things there maybe you wanted to get done today, you still move the needle forward. You are still moving forward and on your way. And that is winning. That is victory. That is approval of yourself your progress and your efforts. And then the final thing that we do to break approval addiction is to get in the practice of atta-girls. Now, it is to give yourself an attaboy and atta-girl throughout the day, meaning I want you to talk to yourself. When you don't feel like walking the dog, but you want to be a good dog owner and you know that a little bit of fresh air is a good break for you in that workday, you put the leash on the dog, and as soon as you walk out, I need you to say, atta-girl, like, look at me go. Look at me winning. It's as if you had your mom or somebody else or me as a coach go, there you go, look at you do it. When you pull out your journal and you journal when you don't feel like it, give yourself a pat on the back. This metaphorical atta-girl is so, so, so critical because you are literally in real time approving of yourself, giving yourself approval and cheering yourself on. You don't need other people to notice and see what you're doing. You just need you to see and approve of what you are doing. All right, there you have it. Those are your 4 ways, right? Be willing to not care what people think, learn how to validate yourself, track your wins, and get into the habit of the atta-girl. If this video was helpful, please let me know. I'd love to know what your biggest takeaway was. Which of the 4 methods is going to be new to you and are you going to put into action? And as I said, I have some great resources for you if you want to learn how to do these methods. They're all in the show notes. I've got a journal mastery bundle. I have an affirmation engine. I have the 333 method is 100% free and it will walk you through step by step how to implement these into your life. And the beautiful thing about all of these is they take less than 2 to 3 minutes each. Because I get this, you're busy, but you're not too busy to get really significant growth. These are proven methods that truly work. And let's break that addiction to approval, because on the other side of it is massive confidence and massive freedom.